let's go.
Leave it to Taylor Sinclair. He's a wizard when it comes to these deals. You'll meet him later.
Man, look at these. What year is this?
Now
Fucking
then,
2004
Nancy,
graphics?
You're coming on board at a critical time for Beach Hill.
2004.
An exhibit of this caliber is not kid stuff. Franklin Rose assures me you're a real trooper, and I hope he's right because I'm not here to babysit. I don't care who your father is.
I'm glad you don't care who my father is, because you know what? I don't know. In the books, Nancy and her dad are pretty close. But yeah, okay, don't insult my fucking
If
dad.
there's one thing I've learned from my father, it's the value of hard work. Just tell me where to start.
There's a list of tasks for you in the lab. Once you've knocked those off, we'll regroup.
See, you can tell that this is 2004, otherwise she would have, like, had an email where she's like, yeah, we'll circle back after this, because that seems more modern.
In archaeology, everyone wants to be king of the sandbox. I became a curator because I want to help make artifacts available to as many people as possible. That's all that matters, isn't it? Unless you're Alejandro Del Rio.
See, we've only been working here for 5 minutes. We're already getting the tea spilled. Let's go.
Who's Alejandro Del Rio?
Ugh, wouldn't you rather hear about the monolith? It's a massive pillar of stone, nearly 1,500 years old with Maya glyphs carved into it. We've installed it in the garden. Wait until you see it.
Any last advice before I get down to business?
Semper ubi sub ubi.
That means always wear underwear. Here we are. Here's Henrik.
You must be Nancy, the new deputy curator. I'm Henrik Vanderheun.
You can tell that he's smart because of the way he talks. We don't need to ask him why he's wearing a mask. We know why he's wearing a mask.
I'm curious about your work. How do you go about translating a glyph anyway?
It can be a complicated process, involving research, piecing lots of different elements together, and a healthy dose of guesswork.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't a definitive dictionary of Maya glyphs where you can look things up?
Oh, I'm afraid not.
Have you ever heard of grammar?
Glyphs are so intricate and full of subtleties that multiple meanings may be embedded in a single glyph. So 3 distinct-looking glyphs may all translate to mean sunshine, roughly, but with different nuances. There is so much we still don't know. Lucky for me, I guess, or I'd be out of a job.
Yeah, that would suck.
Silvio's curatorial bonanza.
I'd like to place an order, please.
Have you ordered from us before?
Well, I haven't personally, but the museum has.
Okay, good. That saves me a lot of paperwork. What's the account number?
Relatable.
BH119K.
BH119K? Beach Hill? Are you serious?
That's right. I'm the new deputy curator, Nancy Drew.
Well, whoop-de-doo, it's Nancy Drew. But Silvio's curatorial bonanza no longer does business with Beach Hill. I've sent all 6 of the outstanding invoices to a collection agency. And you jokers won't get another packing peanut out of Silvio Jr. ever. Do not call here again.
Good to know that we are in financial trouble.
I'm sure everything's going to be smooth sailing, Mr. Rose.
Famous
kiddo.
last words. Got a periodic table. You know this room is about science if there's a periodic table. Bicephalic altar. This altar was dedicated during the reign of the 16th ruler of Copan, Yaxpasa. The focal point of this artifact is the large 2-headed crocodile. This creature is called the bicephalic monster, and it represents the continuous cycle of life and death. Oh, snap. I don't see it. But you know what? If there's a 2-headed crocodile in there, then you know what? There's a 2-headed crocodile in there. And here
This side looks damaged.
is the monolith, and there's a sound of footsteps. Because
Nancy Drew, or should I say, Detective Drew. I'm Sinclair.
we got this guy with a fucking dumbass mustache.
Hi there. I guess you've done your homework.
I was at a meeting with the BOD recently, and I caught wind of your appointment and your credentials. Very impressive, if I do say so myself.
The BOD?
That would be the board of directors, those cranky old cats. They do keep the ducks squared away around here, I'll give them that. So, how's this for a specimen? Ever seen $1 million worth of rock before?
Let's be sassy.
Do diamonds count?
Ouch. Well, they did say you were sharp. Seriously, though, thank goodness you're here. I'm afraid the museum may be in terrible jeopardy.
What kind of jeopardy?
Joanna told me to butt out, but I'm so fond of Beach Hill, I just hate to see it fall prey to scoundrels.
What scoundrels?
It's a sensitive subject. Meet me in my office later and I'll explain everything then. I've got to go. Enjoy your first day at Beach Hill!
Don't you just love when you meet somebody for the first time and then they're just like, yo, we're in fucking danger. Bye.
Interesting.
Here's the thing. A paper airplane? Oh, look at that. It's a legally binding contract. Sunny June worked here. Beach Hill shall make 2 payments of $250,000. The first being paid upon execution of this contract, the second being paid 30 days after the delivery of the property. Pakal's mom was a bad bitch, is basically what we just learned.
I see you succeeded in reconstructing that Maya pot. Do you know what the glyph on it means?
Do you think Henrik likes jokes? I can't tell if he likes jokes, but we'll try it.
Something like, don't play ball in the house?
Place name glyphs are some of the rarest and most difficult to translate. Even most of my colleagues wouldn't have a clue about this one. But I'm a rare breed myself, Nancy, and this is one of my areas of expertise.
Oh my... Nancy, stop it. Don't talk about Nicholas Falcone.
You've got my undivided attention.
The glyph on that pot signifies the great ancient Maya city of Copan in Honduras. There happens to be a very important dig going on there right now.
Do you know any of the archaeologists there?
I have a few connections, yes. I'm keeping up with the action by ham radio.
Wow. Let's not get into our financial issues. Let's just...
Did you know the
Let's get
deputy
the gossip.
curator who was here before me?
Hurricane Sunny? I'm afraid I did. If he wasn't losing paperwork or setting off the fire alarm, he was cornering our visitors with his theory that the Maya were abducted by aliens. I'm afraid you'll be cleaning up his messes for a while.
Alright, okay, so by the way, are we like a bankrupt museum?
I'm supposed to order more packing supplies, but the company says they won't do business with us anymore. Does Beach Hill have bills it can't pay?
No comment.
But Henrik, how am I supposed to get this order taken care of?
I hereby absolve you of that task. If Joanna wants things shipped, she can stuff them into garbage bags for all I care.
Nice.
See you around, Henrik.
Will do.
Ready to learn about numbers?
Just one more tile.
Oh. JK.
Especially since we have the Palenque monolith.
The who?
The monolith. It's a giant block of stone recently
suddenly
excavated
louder.
from a cave near Palenque in Mexico. Apparently
Quality
it's a
game.
very big deal. They think it's 1,500 years old.
Yo, can we talk about how, like, at the start of the game, you can have Nancy be like, what's a glyph? And then in this conversation, she's dropping shit like logographs, epigrapher. You know, like, she actually knows what she's talking about. Anyways, you know what bothers me as an adult? That out of, like, all the phone numbers in the world I could have memorized, Bess and George is one of those that I always know, and I always will know. 555-4468. Area code 523. That lives in my head rent-free and will forever. And now we have the gods that represent numbers. There's number 1, who is probably the greatest god ever since he's number 1. He's got these huge old fish lips, a really big nose, and a set of good teeth. 2 has a big hat with 5 fingers. You'll know it when you see it. It's a hat that goes kind of like... but like curving into his head. Hard to... You'll know it when you see it. Hello, sir.
How may I help you?
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew.
I don't want to just
the
come
new
in here and
deputy
speak bad
curator
Spanish
over
at him.
Beach Hill.
So,
I'm not rude.
You're Joanna Riggs' newest pirate in training. How does it feel to join the ranks with the modern-day conquistadors?
Bitch, don't insult me. You just met me.
I beg your pardon, but
Fucking
how does
rude.
a deputy curator become a pirate in your
We're also
book?
like 18.
You had better brush up on your history, young lady. When the Spanish explorers invaded Mexico, they became known as the conquistadors, or conquerors. They robbed the indigenous peoples of their wealth, not just their gold, but their artwork, their sacred objects. Anything they did not steal, they burned to the ground.
I mean, yeah.
Alejandro, I understand that many crimes were committed in the name of exploration, but that was hundreds of years ago. What does this have to do with Beach Hill?
There is more. In the 19th century, archaeologists discovered the ruins of ancient civilizations predating even the Aztecs. Many of the dig sites were robbed, and the stolen artifacts were sold off to art museums and collectors around the world. Today, finally, it is illegal among most civilized nations to remove an artifact from its native country. But sadly, there are thousands of precious antiquities with highly questionable provenance floating around the Western world.
Yeah, see, you said 19th century, and I was like, bro, it's 2004. I understand what you're going for, I don't care.
What do you mean by questionable provenance?
An artifact's provenance is the story of its origin and ownership. For example, how it made its way from a temple at Chichen Itza to a museum in Washington, D.C. If the artifact's provenance reveals that it has been stolen, then that artifact must be returned to the country of its origin. Provenance documents are often tampered with or forged to cover up the theft. Because of this, thefts continue and a great deal of art is moved on the black market, even today. Unethical art dealers and greedy museum curators do nothing to stop this.
I mean, yeah, that's called fucking greed and power. That's just kind of what happens, man. I don't know what to tell you. I understand that this is the hill that you are going to die on, and I fully respect that. I'm not on that hill. I'm like towards the base of it, and I'm just like, yeah, sucks.
Are you suggesting Beach Hill is involved in these kinds of misdealings?
If Joanna Riggs or that overstuffed pillowhead Sinclair had any decency, they would take measures to see that all Maya artifacts were returned to Mexico at once where they belong.
And what if these measures are not taken?
Are you
My
threatening me?
country will have its due, Nancy, even if I have to begin reclaiming its artifacts with my own 2 hands.
See, now, I personally feel like that's just a little aggressive, but you know what? You try to move that monolith by yourself. It's fucking huge. Have fun.
I will take those documents now.
Oh, here you go.
Thank you. I have some business with Joanna at the museum later, so I will return the contract to her then, after I have looked it over. Goodbye.
All right, bye. I'm never coming back. I will come back. So, dude.
It's about time. Oh, my fears are like maggots infesting my poor old carcass. Want a cookie? They're from Oaxaca.
The leaps and bounds that just happened in this introduction. Well, think about my corpse, but I have these Oaxacan cookies.
Thanks, but I'm trying to cut back. Now, what's going on?
The art world is being ransacked, Nancy. Prudence Rutherford, a major patron of the arts, had her fire ruby necklace stolen from her villa in Topeka. 2 weeks later, a whole display case full of rare Maya artifacts was heisted from a museum in New Mexico.
Uh-huh.
I'm just telling you, this community, our friends and colleagues, my people are being systematically trounced by thugs. Who's to say Beach Hill won't be next? You've got to do something.
Does Joanna share your concerns?
I've urged Joanna to approach the board about making some security upgrades, but she just keeps saying that the timing isn't right to ask for money.
I mean, it's not. Don't you know how much this fucking monolith costs, bro?
I understand your concern, but what can I do to help?
I'm an intern,
We need
man.
your eagle eyes. We need your bat ears. We need you to sniff out the stink of trouble.
I'll do my best, but it sounds like what you really need is a new breed of police dog.
Don't play modest mouse with me.
But anyway, tell me something about the art business. Is that a contemporary painting?
You bet your socks it is. Would you believe I dug it up in my backyard?
No.
Good thing you're not trying to make a living as a comedian. So, what about the
Light
painting?
jab.
How about that rubber shark? The artist's name is Poppy Dada. She's a teenager in South Dakota. The art world is going bananas over her stuff. I'll unload that one for some serious dinero.
Anyways, before we insult you,
Joanna says
Let's
you performed an
flatter
act
you.
of wizardry in helping Beach Hill acquire the Pakal carving.
Getting those provenance docs together was a pig and a half. Oh, they're on the up and up, I assure you. But to have been at the height of my career back before the crackdown, those were the days.
is this...
What crackdown?
Maybe sometime I'll tell you a sad story I call How Mexico Lost Its Sense of Humor. Not today, though, Nancy.
Maybe someday we can tell you a story about being insensitive when it comes to other cultures.
Alejandro says you're unethical.
Until
a
then,
modern-day conquistador.
a prequel.
That you're robbing Mexico of its cultural history.
And I say Alejandro is the real bully of the playground. A lunch money extortionist who loves nothing more than to see the other boys and girls go hungry.
You have the weirdest fucking metaphors, dude, but you know what? That's not what I'm here to judge you about. I'm here to judge you on a whole lot of other things, like your fucking tie.
Bye now.
Okay, bye, and I'm never coming back here again. Henrik, you're not here. Ah!
Beach Hill's been hit. Sit tight, Nancy. The police are on their way.
Alright. So remember how this game is called Secret of the Scarlet Hand? So we have a handful of suspicious characters in our cast today. And we have motive for all of them. We have Joanna, who is desperately trying to fund this museum and is now filling out an insurance claim. We have Alejandro Del Rio, who is unhappy about artifacts not being in their native country and threatening to steal them. We have Sinclair, who is upset about how there are laws preventing sales like artifacts that could get him a large amount of money. And then there's Henrik, who's just a huge fucking research nerd, but was located in New Mexico at the place where the last robbery took place. So everyone is suspicious. Now we can go up here and do this. We can also, like, investigate the crime scene and stuff, but... Nancy, something's come up and I'll be gone for a bit. Your mission in the meantime. Run through the temple activities to verify that all questions can be answered based on info available elsewhere in the museum. We don't want a little rascal rebellion on our hands when the exhibit opens now, do we? Be back soon, or be back ASAP. Thanks, Henrik.
The magician suffers yellow death, whatever that means. Apparently, the thief just couldn't come up with the glyphs for the curator suffers flaming purple disgrace.
Why is it purple disgrace?
So the handprint was made from mercury and sulfur.
Mercuric sulfur. I speak science. Mercuric sulfide. Fuck, I said it wrong.
It's a fiasco, just as I feared. Oh, I'm sick about the whole thing.
I see you've spoken with Joanna.
I was in the museum when it happened.
Oh, really?
Have you spoken to the police?
I told them everything I know. I mean, I coughed up my brains right there on the table.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but can you just, chill for a bit?
Have you heard? The Pakal carving was stolen from the museum.
Well, I heard the alarms going off, but it wasn't until Henry called me that I heard the news.
Oh, you and Henrik are on phone call terms. Okay.
So, you were in the museum at the time?
I was dropping off the monolith agreement for Joanna, as I said I would.
That is fair. I will take you at your word. For now. For now.
Did you see anything suspicious?
I was running late. I just figured somebody tripped a wire and I kept going.
It's odd that I didn't see you.
We didn't see
I was
Sinclair
there on
either.
business, Nancy, not for tea.
Nancy, the police called. They want me to go down to the station for further questioning. Something about an anonymous tip. Do I have time for this? No. Hold down the fort while I'm gone, will you please? I left my office open if you need anything. Be back soon, Joanna. Franklin, I own this museum now. Everyone's gone. I'm ready to join the board of directors. Let me go.
Nancy, to what do I owe the pleasure of this call?
Okay, you don't need to sound so like I'm getting in the way of your life. You told me to do this investigation.
I need to contact a woman named Prudence Rutherford. I noticed she's on the board of the Topeka Commission for the Arts, and that they've donated money to Beach Hill. Any idea how I might track her down?
Well, you're in luck. It so happens that Prudence and I sat on the panel of judges for the Kansas Speak No Evil Mime competition for 3 years in a row, back when I lived in Wichita. How's that for a small world?
I have so many questions.
You judged a mime competition?
Indeed I did. I haven't talked to Prudence in about 10 years. But let's see if I still have her in this old dinosaur of a Rolodex.
A Rolodex.
Ah, yes, here we go.
Henrik!
Did that look like a fall or
Amnesia?
a push?
Wow. Henrik must have taken a real nosedive off that pyramid. Do you think he just fell, Nancy? Or was he pushed?
That's what I'm
Sounds like we need to
saying.
find out about.
I'm surprised the museum doesn't have, cameras. But, I mean, clearly it's just not in the budget, so...
Nancy, it's Joanna. The police are done giving me the 3rd degree, but now the board has suspended me.
Oh, Jesus.
To make a long story short, I'm forbidden to set foot in the museum. Could you please call Franklin Rose and try to reason with him? If we don't get a move on, this exhibit is going straight down the tubes.
Let me be frank. Joanna Riggs has been in the doghouse with the board for months. Her thirst for acclaim has led her to gamble the future and the reputation of Beach Hill time and again. Now that we've lost the Pakal carving, one of our most notable pieces, well, she's just got to be stopped. Look, I've got a client waiting, Nancy. What we need now is for you to take up the slack. I've spoken to the rest of the board and we've agreed that the best thing is to put you in charge.
Sir, I don't know if this is even a paid internship, or if this is just an experience thing. I am literally a teenage girl.
Oh, Mr. Rose, I'm not qualified to be a curator.
Yeah.
I don't have the experience.
Maybe not, but you are the best qualified detective I know, which is just what we need right now. We're counting on you to catch this thief red-handed. Ha ha. Just kidding, kiddo. If you can get the Pakal back, we'll see about giving Ms. Riggs another chance. That seems fair, doesn't it?
Fine.
It's a deal, Mr. Rose.
Bye, kiddo. this is Nurse Bluefoot.
Okay, good.
Nurse Bluefoot, this is Nancy Drew. You left me a message regarding Henrik Vanderheun. How is he?
Nancy Drew? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I'm so relieved. We've been unable to locate any family members, and we do like amnesia patients to have at least one personal support person when they begin reality orientation. Henrik is suffering from an acute case of post-traumatic retrograde amnesia. At the moment, he is unable to recall even the most basic autobiographical facts, from his name and address to his birthday and shoe size. He can't access the details of his personal history or events leading up to his accident.
Post-traumatic?
Yes, the trauma being his accident at the museum, naturally.
You look familiar. Is it time for my snack?
I'll visit, we'll talk. Sometimes I'll bring you pictures.
Pictures? Well, isn't this nice?
Think of it this way. You just got back from a fabulous trip, only you can't remember the places you went. So you decide to look through postcards to see which ones you recognize.
Fine, I'll do it.
Here you go. Boom.
Okay, here we go. These symbols mean the magician suffers yellow death.
Your translator is sloppy. I should know. I am the author of the original work.
The author? What are you talking about?
That first glyph is the fool, not the magician. Furthermore, any decent epigrapher knows those glyphs refer to the infamous plague of oozing hives. A fitting curse for a fool, don't you think? I rather like it.
Henrik, this note was found at a crime scene. Are you telling me you left it there?
I don't remember.
I'm investigating the theft of the Pakal carving. Please, Henrik, try to remember something.
Who in the world is Pakal? Oh, my head. Oh, the pressure. I can't take any more today, Nancy.
Okay, it's time for some memory therapy. Nancy, could you come back tomorrow?
We learned something today. Let's go see how Alejandro is taking the news of Joanna being suspended, because, I think he'll be a big fan. Just a hunch, just you know, based off of the few conversations I've had with him.
Have you heard? Henrik
start with
Vanderheun
Henrik.
fell off the pyramid at the museum. He's in the hospital
Get the
with a
sympathy.
mysterious head injury.
That is terrible news. I hope it's not too serious.
I don't know. Okay, let's see how unsympathetic you are to this part.
Have you heard? The police received an anonymous tip, and they're considering Joanna a prime suspect in the Pakal theft. They've taken her in for questioning.
I called in that tip. She lied about the Cinnabar, and you may not know this, but she has jeopardized the museum's finances with all of her wheeling and dealing. Why should she not be questioned?
Both of these questions I want to ask, but let's go a little less accusatory since he seems kind of mad.
How did she jeopardize museum finances?
I am not at liberty to say.
Oh, okay, then why'd you fucking bring it up?
I need a photo of the Pakal carving. Do you have one?
Joanna took the official print for her insurance claim, but I have a couple extras. Here you go.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work.
I wasn't done.
Any news?
There was an incident at the museum. Henrik is in the hospital with a head injury.
Poor Henrik. Another squabble between him and Joanna, perhaps? Oh, I'm kidding, but I do remember the time she threatened to push him in the pond. Temper, temper, I'm always telling her.
Let's go back to our hotel and talk to the only person we have not talked to yet, which is Prudence Rutherford, the old woman who had her Mayan jade necklace stolen in a similar fashion to ours.
I had the necklace restrung to include an exquisite jade carving as the centerpiece, a genuine artifact of the ancient Maya.
And you wore that?
The carving is not only one of a kind, but a Rutherford family heirloom given to me by my great-grandfather when I was just a little girl.
I feel like putting it in a necklace would be like the worst way to preserve it. But you wore that? That shit's like 4x4 or something. That's a huge pendant to have on you, but whatever. I'm not here to judge.
Does the carving have any meaning that you know of?
It features a rare glyph. No one's been able to give me a precise translation, but most epigraphers have agreed that it has something to do with a snake, the color green, and the direction south. It's terribly fascinating.
About the theft, where were you when it took place?
At 3 a.m.? Well, I was home, of course. Lost in sweet slumber. I don't grace the social circuit the way I used to. That brazen fiend crept right into the bedroom and took my necklace away. Where was I? Picking peaches in the fruit-laden orchards of my dreams. I feel like such a fool.
Man, I feel like... This is gonna sound bad, but I feel like if I were as old as Prudence Rutherford is, I would not dance with all these different metaphors and shit, because I'd be like, yo, my time could be out. I don't have time for words. I was fucking asleep. It was 3 a.m. They broke into my house. That's it. You know? But she seems quite eccentric, so you know what? I dig it.
Was anything else taken besides the necklace?
Nothing. Not even my brand new Dada. Synesthetic, interactive, organic journey? Ha! I always knew Dada was overrated. One moment, dear. Off! Off the sofa, you nasty beast! Now! What are you doing? What did I say about the sofa? Bad, bad, naughty bad! I'm sorry, dear. What was I saying?
Do we think it's a dog or a cat? It's a dog? Okay.
Problems with a dog?
What? No, I was speaking to my husband, dear. My second husband. Soon to become my ex-husband if he continues to crawl on the furniture like that.
Crawling on the furniture how?
Oh, yes! Oh, they must have known. The rest of my valuables were left untouched. Frankly, I don't know whether to be grateful or insulted.
Man, that poor second husband.
When did you realize that you'd been robbed?
The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was this positively ghoulish red handprint on the wall. I nearly jumped out of my skin.
Yeah, I would too.
A red handprint was left at the scene of the crime at Beach Hill, too. Ms. Rutherford, I'm almost certain that these robberies were committed by the same person.
But why? What is so special about these carvings?
I like how it's just like, yo, sorry that you got robbed, but could you, like, come to DC just to talk to this dude who has amnesia right now?
Miss Rutherford, it would be so helpful if I knew exactly what your carving looked like. Could you send me a picture that shows it in detail?
I can do better than a photo. The insurance company made this dreadful replica of the necklace with the idea that I would wear such a thing to public functions. Please. But I could send that to you if you'd like.
Man, imagine having that much money.
Now, if that is all you will require, young lady, I will need to attend to other pressing matters.
Yeah, get like yelling at your husband about the couch again?
Thanks a million, Miss Rutherford. I won't let you down.
Call me Prudence. Oh, and Nancy, when you find the villains who did this to me, do me a favor and give them a sound thrashing.
I can do that. Sound thrashing. Look at that, he learned some stuff. His name is Henrik Vander Heun. He's 61 and a half. He lives in Washington, D.C. He's an epigrapher. He's divorced with 0 kids. He's allergic to chicken and bee stings.
Ready to do some memory work, Henrik? I brought you a picture. This will help you to remember.
That face. He's as familiar as my own feet.
Can you remember the last time you saw him?
Pakal! Nancy, this is the stolen carving, isn't it? And I'm the one who took it. I must have. But why? Oh, Pakal! What could I have meant by this?
If you're remembering correctly, this is a serious crime, Henrik. You've got to tell me why you did it.
I can't remember.
That's okay.
It's still in the museum.
Okay.
Why would you break into the display case and steal the carving only to leave it in the museum?
To protect him. I had to protect him. Oh, Pakal. Something is going on at that museum, a devious plot. I was the only one who could stand in the way.
The height of Pakal's regent, a royal Maya scribe, cannot pronounce that, wrote an account of the Maya that somehow defamed Pakal's name. They disappeared along with all traces of her work. The rumor was that Pakal banished the scribe and her writings to the far reaches of the Netherworld. Highland elders swear that she has haunted the hills for centuries and will not rest until her writings are unearthed and her name is restored to dignity. Banished. Ha, if only Pakal were so lenient. Yeah, there's no way he didn't just fucking murder her. Big Bunny wants to start a small-time smuggling racket to pay off his college tuition. Don't we all? He's the last person I'd want for a partner in crime, but I do need some way to fund my own studies. I wonder if I could stand it.
What should I post here?
Shh! Nancy's trying to fucking sleep. Calm down.
I hear you have been a great help to Henrik. I wonder if you can help me improve my memory too.
Are you and Henrik, like, really close or something? There's a lot of, like, weird you just know about each... I don't understand, but okay.
I am almost certain that the provenance documents for the Pakal carving were falsified. I have asked Joanna to see the documents, but she evades me. If you can find that file in her office and bring it to me, I think it might help my memory of Nahuatl a lot.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of crazy stuff, man. We just came for an internship and instead we're getting involved with illegal smuggling. Hello. Here we go. Stone.
Nancy, you have brought me back to my work.
You recognize the riddle then?
I've been working like a fiend. Look at the board. This has something to do with the plot at the museum, Nancy. I'm sure of it.
I should have read the stuff, but, yeah, here.
Who is this whisperer of silent secrets?
The Whisperer came from a distinguished line of royal scribes. I can't seem to remember her name, but I do recall that she wrote an account of Maya history that greatly angered Pakal because of the way it depicted his ascent to the throne.
Yes, and he was upset.
How did Pakal wish to be depicted?
From the age of 12, when he came to the throne, Pakal claimed to be divinely appointed the first true authentic king of the Maya. Then, the Whisperer came along and wrote that Pakal was only king because his mother pulled some strings. It was quite a blow to Pakal's image.
I mean, she wasn't wrong, though, so...
So he put her in a stone prison?
Pakal swore that the Whisperer's words would never see the light of day. He put her body, her soul, and her writings all in a tomb and locked it up tight.
Wait, Henrik, a prison of stone? We're not talking about the monolith, are we?
That's the idea.
Yeah, shit just got real.
Does anyone else know about this?
Good question. I'm certain that there's a dirty rat trying to get into that tomb. This is where my memory fizzles out. If I could only figure out why I took the Pakal.
It's probably like a key or something. Are you ready for some ham radio? Also buy milk.
The radio tube went out.
Too bad, you're not getting ham radio today. I don't have a pencil. I can't just like verbally figure this out. Ah, something happened. Man, I'm just looking for a pencil to try to add some numbers together. And all of a sudden I get raided. Hi! What's up? I also love Nancy. We're doing some ham radio stuff right now. Cause you know, Henrik and his smuggling. I love this emote. I don't even know what it is. I wonder if, like, there's any relevance to this with actual smuggling? Pakal touted self as the first true king. The Beach Hill carving must be next on the thief's list. Must stop. How? I need to place Pakal in a safe place. I cannot trust anyone at this time. Moral dilemma, but I can argue that the end justifies the means. Oh, but can I? Okay, there we go. That's why it was a question. And I need to send a loud and clear message to the culprit racing to open the monolith alongside me. I only hope I can win this round. He did.
Nancy Drew, you will never guess who the cat just dragged in.
Who?
Frank and Joe Hardy.
You're
OMG.
kidding. I haven't talked to those two in months.
Let me tell you, they're as cute as ever. George and I were just telling them about your latest case, and judging by the way they're hovering around me at the moment, I think they want to say hello.
Sure, put them on.
Hi, Nancy, it's Frank.
Frank Hardy, what in the world are you doing in River Heights?
Well, Joe and I just finished up a case out west, and we're taking a few days to drive back to Bayport. So we stopped in River Heights to say hello to our favorite girls.
Well, that's awfully sweet of you.
We should have known you'd be out there chasing trouble.
Joe, is that you?
The one and only. How's it going, Nancy?
Oh, just knee-deep in another case. You know the feeling.
Do we ever? There's one around every corner, isn't there?
You can say that again.
There's one around every corner, isn't there?
Why are they louder
Right,
now?
Joe, cheeky as ever, I see.
It's the secret of my irresistible charm.
Oh, brother. Listen, Nancy,
He's trying.
we're taking off again tomorrow, but if you want to talk shop about this case, why don't you give us a call on the car phone?
Who has a car phone in 2004? I mean, gotta have something. You know, I just feel like that was like a 90s thing and only a 90s
Frank
thing.
and Joe Hardy, taking the mist out of mystery. Joe here.
That's pretty cute, Joe. Can
It
you come
is.
up with a slogan for me, too?
Hey, Nancy. Hold on while I put you on speakerphone.
But there's this other part that says, when the first king, that's Bakal, ascends the throne again.
I hate to say it, but isn't it a little late for that guy? I mean, hasn't it been like 1,500 years? You just don't jump back on
Give
the
or
throne
take.
after a hiatus like that.
You're being too literal, Joe. It must have something to do with a date, don't you think, Nancy? I mean, when did Pakal ascend the throne the first time around?
I don't know off the top of my head, but the information must be in the museum somewhere.
I'm gonna say June. Sometime in June. That's the traditional month for throne ascensions, isn't it?
First of all, kid brother, June is the traditional month for weddings. And second, the date is not going to be in our Gregorian calendar. It's going to be a date on the Maya calendar, which has a whole different structure.
Frank, you are my #1 favorite know-it-all.
Maybe it just means you need to make like a little doll of Pakal and just sit it on a throne that you make out of like toothpicks and popsicle sticks or something. Let's go visit Alejandro, see if he's all like, yo, this shit is fake. I'm gonna do something about it. And then we're just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm in charge of the museum right now, and I say you're not, so bye. And then he'll just be so confused that he's like, what's my job now?
Hello.
Oh, never mind.
I should get back to the museum.
Adios, Nancy.
Burial rituals for rulers were particularly elaborate to ensure a high level of status for the ruler in the afterlife. That was the end of the sentence. I was expecting there to be more. Jade was a sacred stone, more valuable than gold or silver. That's a typo. Do you see this? More valuable that gold or... Come on, her interactive. Kings were even known to have jade chips embedded in their teeth. Yo, the Mayans invented grills. Let's start with here.
Henrik,
I'm in that smuggling stuff.
Friends in Copan. I've got the Copan Fool Key. I still need the Pakal, though. How's your memory?
The tomb. Nancy, I hid the Pakal carving in the replica of the Pakal tomb at the bottom of the temple exhibit. Huh, now how did I think of that? And another thing, You'll need to get past that computer quiz. Sunny set it up with an impossible question. No one knows what Pakal was afraid of, but Sunny was petrified of the Coatamundi. It's an ornery bandit with a narrow snout and a long ringed tail, much like a raccoon or a polecat.
That is true.
According to your notes, Pakal made a 6-part key to the Whisperer's tomb and scattered the pieces around the world. Do you remember anything about this?
6 keys? 6 keys? 6 keys! Nancy, what are the 4 corners of the world? North, south, east, and west. Plus the first king, Pakal himself, and the Copan fool. When they're all assembled, they open the tomb. Don't you see? This is why I stole the Pakal, to prevent some other schemer from putting the key together.
I'm really glad that they do have this. It's not really an exposition dump, but it's just kind of like a summary of what you're trying to do, since the game does kind of just like throw you around. Pakal's Jade Mask. Pakal is buried wearing a jade death mask, so that the gods of the underworld would recognize him as a king, and accord him the same status and respect as he enjoyed on Earth, because he's a spoiled brat. Each of the jade pieces for the mask was individually carved down to the facial features. The pieces were then set into a wooden base. When Pakal's tomb was discovered hundreds of years later, the wooden base had rotted and the jade pieces lay scattered in the sarcophagus. The mask we know today, then, is a reconstruction. The original mask is on display upstairs in... Wait, we have the OG mask? Notice how the music changed again? Because shit's getting serious. Yeah, give me that glow stick. I feel like this museum has vastly overestimated how much younger people are going to be interested in actually learning all the stuff. And when we do all the stuff and we go out this door...
It's too dark in here. I need a light.
Glow stick! Now we're in the garden. Oh, there we go. We got our thing from Prudence Rutherford. Nancy, please relieve me of this horrid fake rubies by offering them to the Maya god of refuse, if there is one. I have no love for imposters. Prudence. There we go.
Nancy, how's your investigation coming along?
It's good. I found the Pakal, so...
I'm making good progress, and the Pakal carving is safe and sound. But I'm afraid I can't tell you everything yet.
What in the world are you talking about?
I found the Pakal carving, okay? You didn't ask. There was no other circumstances to this deal. You said find it, Joanna's back. That's what I did. No questions.
I'm sorry, but I can't explain everything now. I'll take good care of the carving, I promise.
What can I say, Nancy? I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Do what you have to do, but let's get this mess cleaned up, all right?
Yeah, but you gotta hold up your end of this deal, bro.
So you'll call Joanna and invite her back to work?
I'll call her right away.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Rose.
That's what I'm here for.
Boop. So fancy. I like how she was like, just get the thing out of the box and didn't tell us anything else. Didn't tell us like what to do with it. She's just like, just open some boxes and stuff. Oh, so by the way, Joanna, I gave some of your documents to Alejandro. Okay, bye. I'm sure she won't mind. She has other things to worry about. Surely. Maybe.
Chaco Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, I'm hoping to speak to someone about the theft that happened there recently.
Are you the press?
No, I'm a detective investigating a similar crime in Washington, D.C.
This is Sheila Schultz, the director. What would you like to know?
My name. Do you know of any symbolic meaning attached to a red hand?
Don't walk, don't go there, talk to the hand, as my 15-year-old would say? Really, I haven't the slightest idea.
You clearly are not as well versed in Mayan artifacts as we are, but that's okay. I am not here to judge.
Was Henrik still working at Chaco Canyon when the theft occurred?
No. It happened just a few days after he left. I remember because after the police left, the staff and I were so depressed, we went into the lounge and pigged out on the rest of Henrik's farewell cake.
I would do the same thing. I support you.
As soon as he heard about that monolith, boom, he was gone. For some reason, he just had to go study it. We weren't exactly happy about it, but it's not like quitting is against the law.
I mean, the monolith is kind of a big deal. And, like, wouldn't you want to be the epigrapher who translated the monolith? You know, that's some brand name recognition type stuff right there.
I need some time to ask around. Can you call back later?
Sure thing.
Feel free to call if you have any more questions.
Cool, I'll probably call you back, like, right now. You remember on Henrik's disc, he said that the West was in the property, or was the property of a Mr. Daddle. So let's call him.
Sure. Henry Albert Daddle Sr. was my great-grandfather. You're talking about the jade carving, right?
Yes, exactly. Wow, I can't believe my luck.
Well, it's a lucky life if you ask me. So what can I do for you?
I love this man already. He's funny. It's just like, I mean, yeah, whatever.
I see. Well, I was the last to inherit the carving, but my daughter Penelope was so intrigued with it that I gave it to her. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you about it. Why don't you give her a call on her line? It's 555-3197.
Thanks, fam.
Will do. Thanks, Mr. Daddle.
My pleasure.
Yo, I don't know if this has ever happened, but where you've had a dad give you a phone number for his daughter, and then you reach out to that daughter, and she's just like, who the fuck are you? And does not talk to you. I'm not saying that's happened to me, but that's happened to me. He wanted me to try to convince her to...
Hello? Hi, is this Penelope?
Not even.
Oh, is this 605-555-3197?
Yeah, but no one calls me Penelope anymore. Except my parents, that is. To my friends, the art world, and anyone else who made it out of the 20th century, I'm Poppy.
The art world? Wait, you're not Poppy Dada, are you?
Ta-da! Ping ping! You win! Who's this?
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a detective.
A detective? No way! So do you get to wear a sassy tweed hat and pick hairs off dead bodies and gross, creepy stuff like that?
Actually, I try to keep a low profile, and a tweed hat, well, it's a little conspicuous.
So, where'd you get my name? Don't tell me I'm like wanted by the FBI or something. That would be too scandalous.
Not quite. Taylor Sinclair told me about you. I saw one of your paintings in his office, here in Washington, D.C.
So, how do you know Big Bunny Sinclair?
Do you remember where we have seen the nickname Big Bunny before? Maybe in Henrik's diary entries where he talks about how Big Bunny wanted to start a small smuggling thing to pay off some loans or something? You know? Just coincidence. I mean, there could be two people with that nickname for all I know.
I beg your pardon. Did you say Big Bunny?
Oops. Just a little nickname I accidentally found out about. He made me promise to abolish it from my memory. Anyway, about your acquaintance, you were saying?
Yeah, he's a suspect.
Taylor's a suspect.
I'm just gonna say
in the
that.
case I'm working on.
That's hot. What's the case? Are there dead bodies involved? Do you need to, like, tap my phone or impersonate me or something?
I got a tip that your great-great-grandfather bought a jade carving much like the ones that are being stolen. I'm hoping to take a look at it.
You mean that ancient green rock with the weird symbol on it? I slapped some shoe polish on it and stuck it in one of my paintings.
Now we know why Taylor might have been so interested in her artwork.
You're kidding. That's a one-of-a-kind Maya artifact, a piece of history. It's hundreds of years old. It's worth a lot of money.
That's the whole point. Have you heard the saying that a work of art is never finished, just abandoned? Well, I'm taking that idea to the limit by making art that will keep changing as different people encounter, perceive, and interact with it. I'm tired of artwork that says, "Don't touch." I'm all about letting go, about sending my work into the world and seeing how it continues to become. Don't you see? It's an organic process. I mean, how can people really relate to art if it doesn't come to life and grow and die just like they do? That carving is part of something bigger now.
I mean, I get what you're trying to say, but like, I don't know. I just kind of want to like look at art and just kind of be like, that's art. I'm not really interested in art that comes with like extra obligations, you know?
Taylor's probably still got that artwork. At least, I don't think he sold it yet. Why don't you ask him? Tell him you want to see the piece called Deadly Midnight Snack. It's the one with the rubber shark.
Yep, we saw that rubber shark.
If you really need the carving to crack this case, why don't you just go ahead and take it? The deal is, you can take the carving, but you have to put something in its place. He'd probably blow a gasket if he saw you tampering with the merchandise. That's all art is to him, you know. Merchandise.
Oh, trust me. I know. Yo, we have Poppy Dada's phone number. We're so cool! What time is it? I wonder what floor Taylor's on.
Any news?
Mind if I help myself to one of those scrumptious-looking Oaxacan cookies?
Be my guest.
I don't know about you guys, but this game makes me like never want to try something from Oaxaca ever. But I do know how to spell it now.
Any news?
May I take a closer look at that wacky Dada painting?
Be my guest. I just had a call from Poppy this morning. She says she's in a really creative period right now. I said, please, sweetie, if you get any more creative, they're going to lock you up.
Pardon me a moment, Nancy. I'll be right back. I hope.
See, he probably ate a Oaxacan cookie right there.
Organic.
There we go. Got Belize. Whatever that is. Stuff. Hey, you would think that we would be able to snoop around the desk. But we can't. Okay, so in the lab, there's this cool nozzle thing. It's like a mold filler. We just go like squish. Instantly dries. And now, if we come over here.
According to Henrik's notes, I need to make a key out of these pieces.
When did Pakal ascend the throne? That's important. I don't know the answers. You'll remember what's missing on the monolith. We should also probably save. I mean, not that like anything drastic is about to happen, but if you'll remember, well, we're missing a pair of rings from the...
It's locked.
We need the other key. And these are really heavy, so you need to fucking bolt when you get them.
Wow, these are heavy. I'm not sure I can hold on to these stones for very much longer. I've got to put these things down.
I'm trying, Nancy. Nancy not realizing that she can take fucking breaks. She can hardly carry them, but she's able to fully lift and place them into the monolith, so you know, adrenaline or something, I guess.
It's too dark in here. I need a light.
Don't worry, Nancy, I got the glow stick. And we don't do cheap glow sticks at this museum. It is all the real deal. Hold on, let's try something. Google.
What do you want to search for?
Oh my god. When did King Pakal ascend the throne?
According to World History Encyclopedia, Pakal assumed the throne of Palenque at the age of 12 in 615 CE and ruled successfully until his death at the age of 80.
I was hoping for a day, but thanks. Thanks for telling me something I already know! Are we ready?
This should be the last step.
Should be.
I wonder what's inside.
I mean, Henrik told us this was gonna happen. Alright, are we ready?
It's blank.
Who's your friend, Nancy? Boo.
Taylor Sinclair!
Who'd you expect, the Tooth Fairy? Looks like someone forgot her beauty cream. I guess we can't all age gracefully.
I'm sure she would say the same about you.
You've been a top-notch assistant, Nancy, but I'm afraid you're just not going to make it in the art world.
Why are you doing this?
Nancy, do you have any idea what that book contains?
Nothing.
Help me out, Sinclair. I'm drawing a blank.
Get it? 'Cause it's blank?
The Whisperer's writings are the only known personal account of Maya life, the only written glimpse into Bakal's time anywhere. Do you know what I can get for that thing on the black market?
No.
You have no right to do this. The book is not yours to sell.
Simple economics suggest otherwise. And I am the art dealer.
This tomb and all of its contents belong to Mexico.
Finders keepers, I say. Nobody even realizes this thing has any contents. Won't they get a surprise when they finally open it up and find that it contains a 7th century scribe and a 21st century detective? Adios, Nancy.
Okay, so if you remember, Mayans were buried with important stuff.
I'm starting to run out of air in here. This may be the scribe's notes about Pakal. I gotta get out of here.
Don't worry, Nancy.
I'm suffocating in here. Let me out.
Stop talking and save some of your air, Nancy. Calm down.
Behold! Our heroine emerges from the tomb, like a mermaid from the sea.
Meanwhile, the foolish villain stews in the sour soup of his own miscalculation.
From deep in the recesses of time, a wise royal scribe whispers her thanks.
And a priceless chapter of history is rescued from obscurity. Way to go, Nancy!
What in the world? Ah! Confound you, Nancy Drew!
And now that Henrik's memory is back up to speed again, I'm sure he'll be itching to get to work on it. Taylor Sinclair won't be making any art deals for a long time, though, that's for sure. I guess I shouldn't be surprised about Alejandro's discovery that the Pakal carving's provenance documents were faked after all.
There we go.
When Franklin Rose and the board found out, they arranged to return the artifact to Mexico right away. Mexican officials are so happy to have the artifact back, they have pledged a new era of diplomatic relations with Beach Hill. Joanna sure learned her lesson about making deals with shady operators like Taylor. The board has agreed to give her another chance as long as she reforms her business tactics. And what else? Oh yes, Poppy Dada's announced a new direction in her artwork. All her new paintings are going to feature, what else? Mysterious red handprints. So I guess everyone is taking off in new directions now.
Yo, this better be a paid internship or else I would be upset. Yeah, that was the game! I particularly wanted to replay this game again because on the Nancy Drew subreddit, someone brought up how cheesy the ending is. How you just get out of the monolith and everyone's just there reciting like this speech about how, you know, good triumphs over evil. And I see it. For girls who aren't afraid of a mouse. That was a slogan that they had. Oh my god. Oh yeah, it totally just repeats. Okay. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!